Shrirupan Sagrajatam Sahajanam Raghunatham Tam Sadhimam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhamritam Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharani Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatare Satarani Namo Mahavanyaya Krishna Prema Kadayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurase Namo He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Taptakanchani Gaurangi Shilagi Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Vanchakalpatarubhasya Kripa Sindhu Devacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaurav Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna. So yesterday we could discuss about austerities, especially the austerity of Kaya, Vacha and Mansa. And also we discussed about the austerity three modes. How the same austerity of Kaya, Vacha and Mansa can be performed in mode of goodness, can be performed in mode of passion, and how it can be performed in mode of ignorance. So now, after discussing this, Krishna will speak about charity in three modes. So now text number 20, 21 and 22. In these three text verses, Krishna talk about charity in three modes. We'll discuss about now charity in three modes. So in the beginning, we discussed about the 43 modes and the sacrifice, then the austerity, and now the charity. So you find these are very important aspects of our Vedic culture: charity, austerity, food, and sacrifice. So now, after discussing other aspects, we will discuss about charity. This is text number 20. दातव्यम इति यद्दानं दीयते अनति उपकारिणे देशकाले च पात्रे च तद्दानं सात्विकं स्मृतं. Somebody can give translation online.
Charity given out of duty without expectations of return at the proper time and place, and to a worthy person is considered to be in the mode of goodness.
Yeah, so this is charity in mode of goodness. So there are main parameters of charity in mode of goodness. And the most important and essential parameter of a charity in mode of goodness is without expectation of return. Anupakarine, irrespective of return. And then it should be at a proper time and at a proper place to a worthy person. These are other aspects of charity in mode of goodness. Then this is called charity in mode of goodness. So in Bhagavatam 7th canto, 14th chapter, Narmani speaks about the duties of householders. So this is a beautiful chapter where Yudhishthira Maharaj is asking how we Grasthas can be liberated. So while speaking about the Grastha ashram, Narmani naturally speaks about the aspect of charity. So in that, he speaks about this aspect of the proper time and the place for charity. So these are the proper time which are mentioned. Makar Sakranti, Karkata Sakranti, Mesa Sakranti, Tula Sakranti, in the yoga named Yati Pata. During the eclipse, that means either lunar or solar. On the 12th day of lunar day, in the Sarvana Nakshatra, Akshay Tirthiya, ninth day of the bright fortnight of the month of Kartik, the four Astakas in the winter and the cool season, seventh lunar day of the bright fortnight of the month of Magha, conjunction of Magha Nakshatra and a full moon day. So like this, these are the proper time when the charity should be done as per the scriptures. So this talks about the proper time. And now, Alvini also will explain about the proper place. So it is mentioned that during these proper time, if one gives charity, then he receives a very special result. Now we'll talk about the proper place. So Nagni is saying, now I shall describe the places where religious performances may be well executed. He says, any place where a Vaishnava is available is an excellent place for all auspicious activities. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the support of this entire cosmic manifestation, with all its moving and non-moving living entities. And the temple where the deity of the Lord is installed is the most sacred place. So in relation to time, he spoke about lunar eclipse, solar eclipse, specific days, which comes in almost every month. And then in relation to place, he's saying either a Vaishnava is present or there is a temple of the Lord where the deity is installed. This is the proper place where charity can be offered. Furthermore, places where learned Brahmanas observe Vedic principles by the means of austerity, education, and mercy are the most auspicious and sacred places. So, giving charity at a proper place, giving charity on a proper time, giving charity to a worthy person, and not expecting anything in return. These are the four main characteristics of charity mode of goodness. So, this is well explained about time and place in this 7th canto and 14th chapter. Srila Prabhupada also, in brief, is explaining saying that the place of pilgrimage and time like lunar or solar eclipse, and more details are there in that 7th canto, 14th chapter. And then Srila Prabhupada is talking about giving to a worthy person also. Charity to the poor is sometimes given out of compassion, but if a poor man is not worth giving charity to, then there is no spiritual advancement. In other words, indiscriminate charity is not recommended in the Vedic literature. So one has to see all these four parameters: time, place, a person, and not expecting anything in return. So we see, obviously, this is charity mode of goodness. If somebody is giving charity for a spiritual cause, then even he does not have to see time also. Any time that charity can be given. when it is done for a spiritual purpose, for a spiritual cause, without any expectation in return. So we see there was one disciple of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He was a Grasta disciple. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur had a desire to make this Bagh Bazaar temple. So this disciple of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he sold out all the property he had, even his own house also. And then he gave all the money to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. In one way, he was the main donor to make that temple come up. And when the temple got inaugurated, so after that, now he was not having any place to stay naturally because he sold his own house also. So then he goes to his Guru Maharaj and he says, Guru Maharaj, can we get one room in this temple? So then the Guru Maharaj was very surprised. He said, Arey, why not? Please come. And then when Vyas Puja comes, that time that disciple he offers a very beautiful Vyas Puja offering. So he says that, my dear spiritual master, everything belongs to you. And in my case, like a small boy who takes water from the Ganges and again gives that same water back to the Ganges. Same way, I also being an insignificant person, I just gave what belonged to you only. So although he gave charity, but he's not feeling also that it is me who gave charity. He's not identifying also that I had something which I gave in charity. So this is the topmost class of charity which was given, where he is not identifying also, he is not thinking also, and he very humbly is presenting that charity without any expectation in return. So in Mahabharata, a very beautiful dialogue comes where uh, this sage Markanda Rishi, he tells this story to the Pandavas about four kings. So this is a story that how these four kings, they were known for charity. This document is visible. So how these four kings, they gave charity, and then Neelmani will now explain about the fate of these four kings. So one of the king was King Astaka. So uh, so this Astaka, uh, so this was questioned about to Narada Muni that what is the fate of these four kings and who will fall down from heaven first. So Narada Muni says King Astaka will be the first one to fall from heaven. So then they question him why. So Narada Muni says once when he was staying at the ashram of Astaka, so that time what happened, Narada Muni saw there were many cows in some Brahmana's place. So Narada Muni asked, अरे इतनी सारी गायें इनके पास में? So then Astaka he told, मैंने ही दिया था. So Astaka happened to praise himself that, see, I only gave these cows. Like that. So because he spoke like that, he'll be the first one to fall down from heaven. His piety will get extinguished soon. Then the next person to fall down from heaven will be King Pratardana. So then they asked why. So then Admuni told that once what happened when Prataradana was taking Narada in the former chariot, four Brahmins, one behind the other, approached him and begged for a horse each. So this Prataratana was riding on a chariot and Admuni also sitting. So one Brahmana came and he said the chariot was having four horses. So Brahmana came and he said, can you please give one horse out of these four? So then King Prataratana, he gave one horse in charity. Then another Brahmana came, can you please give me one horse in charity? Then he gave another horse in charity. Then another Brahmana came, please, can you give one more, one horse in charity? He gave another one also. And then finally, the fourth Brahmana came and the only left horse he asked for, and he also gave. So now what happened? There were no horses. And Nadmani is sitting, Nadmani is naturally a saint and sadhu, he has to serve him also. Otherwise, one curse will come from there. So then he himself starts dragging the chariot. But while dragging the chariot, he is having grudging feeling. ना like ब्राह्मण रुके भी नहीं मैं बोल रहा था बात मुझे समझना अभी चाहिए सबको अभी चाहिए कैसे ब्राह्मण है ये लोग क्या करूं मैं धर्म से बंधा हुआ हूं मना भी नहीं कर सकता हूं देना पड़ा कोई नाथ मुनि को भी नहीं बोल सकता हूँ नीचे उतर तो साथ में उनको भी रिस्पेक्ट करना है क्या है so he was having grudge feeling like this so although he gave but because he had this grudge of giving so he'll be the next one to fall down then king Vashumanas so he'll be the next one to fall down so about him what happened was Narada Muni came to the house of Vasumanas 3 times and each time he spoke highly of his chariot. So Narada Muni glorified the chariot. And Narada also joined in praising his flower chariot, and the Brahmins present there also followed the suit. Pleased at this, Vasumanas became proud of his possession, and his vainglorious talk made him unfit. So what happened? He had some possession, and Narada Muni glorified, "Arey, you have such an amazing possession, you have such a nice chariot, how beautiful." Other Brahmanas also came, they are also praising. Arey, you have such a nice chariot, you have a Kia I-20, you have Hyundai, this. So he became very happy hearing that, oh, मेरे पास कितना अच्छा chariot है. Because of which he will be the next one to come down. Then King Shivi. So he'll be the last one to fall from heaven. So once a Brahmana went to the Shivi for food. Shivi asked him what food he relished the most. And the Brahmana said he would like to have a fresh flesh of Shivi's only son, whose name was Bratgarbha. Without even the slightest hesitation, Shivi killed his son and cooked his flesh. And when the food was ready, he went out to invite the Brahmana. कितना मुश्किल है ना? But you see their level of following religion. King Siddhi went to this extent. If someone comes to us, he may be a Brahmana, and if he's saying, kill your son and give a flesh in charity, will may kill him only. But King Siddhi, same way you see this Mayurdhwaj story comes that once Arjuna, uh, he was thinking that he's a great devotee. But Krishna wanted to show to Arjuna that there are more greater devotees than him also. So once the son of Mayurdhwaj, he was guarding some area and Arjuna goes and then the fight takes place between the two. So some argument also happens between the two. And then he takes something from Arjuna. I think Ashwamedh Yajna was supposed to happen. The horse was released and that was caught by the son of Mayurdhwaj. And the son of Mayurdhwaj defeats Arjuna and takes the horse. And later on, the son of Mayurdhwaj, he goes to his father, Mayurdhwaj, and says, Papa, pata hai aaj maine kya kiya? I did this. And Mayurdhwaj becomes extremely angry. Arey, you don't know Arjuna is a Vaishnava. He is a dear devotee of Krishna. How you can do this? Why you defeated him? Now here, parallelly, Krishna tells Arjuna that we both will disguise as Brahmanas and will go to the kingdom of Mayurdhwaj. So they go to the kingdom of Mayurdhwaj. And then Krishna becomes the elder Brahmana, Arjuna becomes the younger Brahmana. And then reaching there, Krishna starts crying. And Mayudhwaj says, my dear Brahmana, how can any Brahmana cry in my kingdom? Please tell me. Whatever you want, whatever problems you face, without any delay, I will solve them. So then he says, actually, I was coming through a forest and I had one cow. And in the forest, one lion came. And then that lion took our cow and he says, now I'll kill it. And I said, no, no, you cannot kill this cow. How you can kill a cow? So then the lion said, if you can bring half body of the king of this kingdom, then I will release this cow. So, my dear king, if you can give your half body, then the cow can be released. He says, if that is the case, why not? You take my body. I am ready to give my half body. And then the Brahmana says, wait a minute, wait a minute. He also told that the body should be cut into two pieces by his own son. So then Mahideva says, okay. Then he calls his son. He goes, बेटा तुमने ये गलती तो पहले already करी थी, अर्जुन को हरा के. Already you defeated Arjuna and committed this mistake. Now don't refuse to follow my this instruction. I have a special request from you. He says, please, my dear father, tell me what I'm supposed to do. He said, you have to cut my body into two pieces, and half body will be taken by this Brahman. And the son starts crying, my dear father, what you are saying? I cannot do this. He says, don't become weak-hearted. Follow what I am saying. This is a great service which we can do to the Brahmanas. How can Brahmanas cry in our kingdom? So then when he takes the sword like this on the top of Mayudhwaj, the tears start coming from the eyes of Mayudhwaj. And then the Brahmana who was Krishna, he says, wait, I cannot accept this kind of charity. He's so unhappy while giving himself. You should be happy giving charity, then only I'll accept. Can you imagine? My Lord, is what extent he has to give himself, son has to kill him, and he should not feel unhappy also about it. So then Mayudhwaj says, my dear Lord, these tears are not coming because I am unhappy. The tears are coming because I am feeling unhappy that only my half body is being used in the service of the Brahmanas, and other half is not being used. So then the Lord says, if that is the case, go ahead. Then the son starts putting his sword on the head of Mayudhwaj. And as the sword touches the head of Mayudhwaj, soon Krishna says, stop. And then Lord says, I was testing you. And Arjuna also there was catching feet of this Brahmana who is Krishna, that Lord, thoda ruk jao, what you are doing so much? But then seeing the devotion of Mayudhwaj, Arjuna understood that he is much greater devotee than me. And then Krishna tells to Mayudhwaj, Mayudhwaj, I was just testing you. And he says, my dear Lord, who are you? He says, I am Krishna. Then Lord comes in the original form. And Mayudhwaj then dances in ecstasy, my dear Lord, you are so merciful. Like that. So we see such a great level of sacrifice in giving charity. They never would consider that it belongs to me. And they would see it as an opportunity to serve. His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj says, when someone who is giving charity, he should not feel that, oh, I have to give charity. He should feel that I am getting an opportunity to give charity. I am getting an opportunity to serve. So can you imagine here, Sri Maharaj, he cut his own son only into pieces. And then offered also, cooked also to the Brahmana. But on going out, the king saw the Brahmana setting fire to his palace, treasury, armor, stable, harem, and elephant set. So food was cooked, and then he was going to the Brahmana to offer the food. When he came out of the palace to go give food to the Brahmana, all his house and everything was set on fire. And who's setting everything on fire? Same Brahmana. Without even a quiver on his face, the king respectfully took the Brahman inside and gave him food. The Brahmana was amazed at the patience of the king, and sitting before his the king that he was satisfied, he would be satisfied if the king himself ate that food. लोग कितना एक्सट्रीम उनका पेशेंस का तपस्या ले रहे हैं. Respecting the request, the king was about to eat the flesh of his own son when the Brahmana, who was none other than the Brahma, in disguise praised him for his devotion and gave him back his son, adorned with sweet smelling flowers, and disappeared, blessing them. That when his ministers questioned him about this, he said, I do not give for a name or a fame, neither do I give for wealth and happiness. I do it because it is the only way to be rid of sins. So when he was doing all this, ministers were questioning that why you are doing all this and to this extent. He says, I am doing this to get rid of sins. I have no other expectation. So these are the highest consciousness attitude while giving charity. And in this way, a person can perfect his life. His Holiness Kadam Kalan Swami Maharaj, he also speaks about charity. He says, giving charity to devotees is important because by doing so, we can somehow overcome our deeply rooted material attachment. We must learn to give then rather than to take, just like Jayananda did. Jayananda was Prabhupada's dear disciple. So what had happened was Jayanand, whatever money he would get, he would just give to devotees. So, but he himself would wear very torn clothes. So devotees would tell him that at least you should buy a good pair of clothes for yourself. Why you're wearing torn clothes? So devotees they forced him into one mall and they said, you purchase good clothes for yourself. And he said, don't come without new clothes. So Jayanandru went inside the mall. But when he saw the price tag of some particular cloth which he wanted to purchase, so it was quite expensive. So he thought, "Arey, how I can spend this so much money for buying clothes?" So he started thinking, God, how can I spend so much money on myself? I can't do it. So what he did, already he was wearing torn clothes. So he took those new clothes and he wore above his torn clothes and he started coming out without paying. In one way, he was stealing. So he was caught by the security and the matter went to the judge. And judge asked her, why you stole like this? So then he explained the whole story that I never wanted to spend money of God like this, but the devotees forced me to wear a new one. So what should I do? I took and I was coming out without paying. So hearing his story, the security who caught him, he told the judge, don't catch him, I will pay for him. Like that. So we see that how devotees they do charity. So giving in charity means really giving ourselves in charity. Giving things in charity, giving the fruits of our labor in charity is one thing, but still a greater gift is to give ourselves in charity. To dedicate our life to the well-being of others and not be so concerned with what is going to become of me. If I become the servant of everyone else, then there will be no time left for me to do my things. The highest and greatest act is to give ourselves. So like that, we can give charity. This is charity in mode of goodness. Then अदेशकाले यद्दानम् अपात्रभिश्च दीयते असत्कृतम् अवज्ञातं तत्तामसम् उदाहृतम्. And charity performed at an impure place at an improper time. Okay, this is mode of ignorance. For this, mode of passion. यत्तु प्रत्युपकारार्थं फलम् उद्देश्य वा पुनः दीयते च परिक्लिष्टं तद्दानं राजसंस्मृतम्. So charity performed with the expectation of some return or with a desire for fruitive result or in a grudging mood is said to be charity in mode of passion. So you'll find most of the cases when people they do charity, they do because of some expectation in return. Right? Many times people they have this kind of image that they want to become very famous. In Kanpur, there is one famous person. You'll find most of the places whenever some flexes are, his name is there. क्या नाम है उनका? अग्रवाल ना? Some Agarwal is there. तो कहीं पर भी कोई प्रोग्राम रहेगा उसमें नीचे उनका नाम रहेगा अग्रवाल करके. He likes to give a lot of charity. So once what happened, we wanted Lakshmi for expression our youth festival. So our प्रशांत को told me प्रभु जी इनके पास चलते हैं ये बहुत दान देते हैं मगर ठीक है चलते हैं. तो वहां पर हम गए एक्सप्रेशन में उनको बुलाने के लिए. देन ही टोल्ड कि तो फिर मेन चीफ गेस्ट हम रहेंगे और सारे फ्लेक्स में हमारा फोटो होना चाहिए स्टेज पे टॉक भी हम देंगे. मैं बोला अरे बाप रे रहने दीजिए. तो हमको समझ में आया द मेन चैरिटी वो क्यों करते हैं, ही डिलाइट्स एंड फील्स लॉट ऑफ हैप्पीनेस इन बीइंग रिकॉग्नाइज्ड एज अ पर्सन हु इज नोन फॉर चैरिटी। लेकिन असली में वो ज्यादा चैरिटी देते नहीं, थोड़ा ही सा देते हैं, लेकिन उसमें भी बहुत क्रेडिट ले लेते हैं, ऐसा है। और समटाइम यू फाइंड His Harishankar gives this example. One person gave a fan in Vrindavan, and the name of that person was written on the blades of that fan. So later on, with his family, he entered the temple and he looked above. But the fan was running. Then he called the temple manager and he said, "Hey, fan, इसको बंद कर, इसमें नाम नहीं दिख रहा है हमारा।" तो मैनेजर बोला, अरे फैन तो चलाने के लिए, नहीं नहीं चलना नहीं चाहिए, नाम दिखना चाहिए। There are people like this. In traditional temples, you'll find on each marble slab there will be one name, and sometimes whole marble slab will be full with names. One this if you go to Sukrata near this tree, each marble slab has name of person, his wife, his son, his father, grandfather, and the place like that. Because people want their name, people want to be recognized as a person who is data charity. So Jarasandha was a person who was giving charity more of passion. Although he was sinful, he was demonic, but then he wanted to be famous as a person who is known for giving charity. And then that is why we see whenever Brahmanas would come, he would have a public he would organize, some event would be organized that now from this time to this time, like we have festivals, same way Jarasan would, organize. From 20th August to 25th August, we have a charity giving festival at Jarasan's kingdom. Dun, 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 dun. And then all the Brahmanas and all the devotees or people, they would go. And then he would give charity, and then photo, then video, then newspaper, everything was arranged. So that is known as a charity mode of passion, where a person gives with lot of expectation. But Bhagavatam says, Uddhava, that actually expecting sukha in this world is the greatest cause of dukha in this world. अगर हम एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं कुछ भी, भक्ति में भी एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं, तो हमको क्या मिलेगा, एक ही चीज मिलेगा, वो है दुख। तो अगर हम चैरिटी की भी एक्सपेक्टेशन है तो सिर्फ दुखा मिलेगा। अरे उनका नाम हमसे ऊपर क्यों आ गया, अरे नाम फिट हो गया, अरे नाम में देखो ऊपर क्या कर दिया। एंड पीपल आर नेवर हैप्पी, नेवर सेटिस्फाइड। So this is charity in mode of passion, where a person has a main attitude of what I can get in return, like it. And it is a general attitude. You will find when you ask for donation, people they ask, हमको क्या मिलेगा? So much tempted by this mode of passion, हमको क्या मिलेगा? Like that. In the last we'll have discussion among fruit, ठीक है? And then with the desire for fruitive result, this is another charity a person may do for going to heaven. In the Vedic time, people had this understanding that by doing such act, one can go to heaven. Or in a grudging mood is said to be charity mode of passion. In a grudging mood means what? I suppose spiritual master is going, and you are also accompanying the spiritual master, and then spiritual master goes to one place and he says, "Oh, this is a very nice place for a temple. How much it will cost?" And then that person says, "Guru Maharaj, this will cost around 2 CR, 2 crore." Then Guru Maharaj is saying, "So who can give? Who can help us to finance this?" And there is a rich disciple of Guru Maharaj, but then he's not speaking. And then Maharaj says, "So who can finance? Who can finance? Who can finance?" Then Maharaj says, "So Prabhu, why you don't finance?" He's okay, Guru Maharaj, if you say so. So he's not willing to give, but then because he's told to give, he gives. This also comes in mode of passion. Or while giving, he's feeling, "अरे क्यों ये आ जाते हैं?" Like in Swami Narayan organization, they have a flat system that everyone connected to them is supposed to give 10% of their salary. And if they find any person has not given, the two sannyasi sadhu, they go to his house and they don't come out unless they take that 10%. तो घर में जाके दो साधु बैठ ही जाते हैं। चाहे आप उनको पानी पिलाइए, लड्डू खिलाइए, लेकिन वो 10% लेके ही जाए। तो ऐसे सिचुएशन में अगर कोई व्यक्ति उनको चैरिटी देता है तो नेचुरली उसके हार्ट में ग्रज रहेगा ना, अरे क्या ये आ ही गए, जा ही नहीं रहे, समझ में नहीं आ रहा है उनको कि अरे 2 महीने से मेरा सैलरी नहीं मिल रहा है, बोले हमको चाहिए टाइम पर। So this is a grudging mood. In Christianity also now they are becoming very this thing. Those who get connected to them, they also have this flat system of 10% charity. But if it is done with expectation of some return, desire for future result, uh, uh, not willingly in a grudging mood, then that is the mode of passion. See what example I gave that Prabhupada is saying there. Charity is given sometimes under some obligation कि देना ही पड़ेगा, or at the request of a superior. Like these political parties, whenever they have election, they go to all the wealthy people, and it is an obligation they have to give. Why? Tomorrow if they win, तो they keep note कौन कौन नहीं देता है। जैसे गोरखपुर में एक नवीन जी करके हैं जो एजुकेशन इंडस्ट्री में है, तो वो अखिलेश यादव के सपोर्टर है। तो हमेशा अखिलेश यादव को वेल्थ देते हैं, योगी को पता है ये उनके हैं। तो जब से योगी की सरकार है उनका एक भी प्रोजेक्ट पास नहीं किया है, क्योंकि उनका फाइल आता है, योगी रोक देते हैं कि हमको तो देते नहीं है, अखिलेश यादव को सपोर्ट करते हैं। तो इन जनरल जो बहुत इंटेलिजेंट रिच लोग हैं वो क्या करते हैं, सबको देते हैं, क्योंकि उनको पता है कल को किसका सरकार बनेगा पता नहीं। तो इट इज गिवन आउट ऑफ ऑब्लिगेशन, सो दिस इज चैरिटी इन मोड ऑफ पैशन। And at the request of superior, as I gave example, like a spiritual master is asking, or somebody is asking, then we give, but we are not voluntarily coming forward to give. Like one thing is you come forward that Guru Maharaj, I want to give, or to your superior. Another thing is the superior is calling, Prabhu, we are in need, please give. Or the Guru Maharaj is telling, please give. Then is charity in mode of ignorance. अदेशकाले यद्दानम् अपात्रेभ्यश्च दीयते असत्कृतम् अविज्ञातं तत्तामसम् उदाहृतम्. So charity performed at an improper, impure place, at an improper time, to an unworthy person, or without proper attention and respect, is said to be mode of ignorance. So actually, mode of ignorance is very easy to understand in all the aspects. Whatever is mode of goodness, opposite of that is mode of ignorance. And sometimes externally, mode of ignorance may appear like mode of goodness also. You may feel, Prabhuji, but he may be lazy. So here we see charity in mode of ignorance. So improper place, everything is opposite of what is in mode of goodness. Improper time, to unworthy person, without respect, without proper attention. तो इसका जो है ये बताते हैं कि charity not beneficial. So you find it is mentioned in Manu Samiti about this charity mode of ignorance. So Manu warns against giving wealth, grain, or resources to gamblers, drunkards, criminals, violent people. So this comes in the charity of mode of ignorance. So that's why we as devotees we try our best to not to give to any one of them. Sometimes you find we try to give prasadam and they say कि नहीं हमको प्रसाद नहीं चाहिए, पैसा चाहिए. So then we understand कि ये सही नहीं. Radheshyam Prabhu was giving one example that when he was going to his college, so that time one beggar came and he was uh, not having one hand, something like that. So Radheshyam Prabhu gave him some 5 rupee or something that time. And then another day, when Radheshyam Prabhu was coming, he would travel by some train. He saw that person smoking. Prabhuji became very unhappy. I gave him money and he's smoking. So then Prabhuji went to him and he asked him, Arey, why you are smoking? Then he said, actually, I like to smoke. And whenever I get donation, if I get more than 50, then I smoke. And if I get more than 100, then I drink also. So then Raisha Prabhu said, you fool, I'll never give you money. There are many people like that. They are somehow or other into such bad habits we cannot imagine also. So that's why we have to be very careful, because whatever sin he does, we also will get a result of it. Like we as devotees, we don't give our blood also in charity like this. If we know the person that he is not sinful, and if he is in following value principles, and best if he is a devotee, then we give. Otherwise, we don't give. Suppose you give blood to a person and then he is breaking for regular principles, then you will also get result of it. The Lord will say, आपके खून बह रहा है, आपके खून के कारण जो है वो ये पाप कर पाता है. So we don't become emotional, as Prabhupada said. We don't become emotional in giving charity. We give charity as per dharma. See, Shastras, our Vedic culture is not emotional, is not sentimental, is not cowardly, is based on dharma. Can you imagine a father killing his son? But as per dharma, a person is ready to do anything. And that's how Krishna elevated Arjuna also. They don't think they are your relatives, now they are on a dharma side. They may be relatives, but they deserve to be killed now. So you lift your Gandiva bow and kill them. So Vedic culture is centered around dharma, is not centered around even I and me also, is not centered around, other connections also. So giving is said to be tamasic because it encourages vice and causes spiritual downfall. So like this, Krishna speaks about charity in three modes from text number 22, 22. Now conclusion. Now Krishna will speak from text number 23 to 28 conclusion. So conclusion is also very nice. Om Tat Sat Iti Nirdeshu Brahmanastrividha Svatam Brahmanastem Vedacha Yagyacha Vihita Pura. So he's saying from the beginning of creation, the three words Om Tat Sat were used to indicate the Supreme Lord. The three symbolic representations were used by the Brahmanas while chanting the hymns of the Vedas and during the sacrifice for the satisfaction of the Supreme. तो इसमें प्रभुपाद जी बहुत सिंपल भाषा में बता रहे हैं कि चैरिटी कोई भी हो, चाहे फर्स्ट क्लास की हो, चाहे सेकंड क्लास की, चाहे थर्ड क्लास की, मीनिंग चाहे गुडनेस की, चाहे पैशन की, चाहे इग्नोरेंस की, दे ऑल आर विद इन थ्री मोड्स ऑफ मटेरियल नेचर, दे ऑल आर कंडीशन. बट जब हम ओम तत्सत जो हम चैरिटी करते हैं वो भगवान के लिए करते हैं, देन इट बिकम्स स्पिरिचुअल. सो ओम तत्सत पर्टिकुलरली इंडिकेट्स द एब्सोल्यूट ट्रुथ. इसको बलदेव विद्याभूषण जी ने बहुत अच्छी तरीके से इसको समझाया है. So the three words Om Tat Sat are remembered by the wise to be the names of Vishnu. Brahmanah Nirdesah. The Shruti says Om iti etat Brahmano nedistam namah. Om is another name of Brahman. Om is one name. Tat is the second name seen in the Shruti statement. Tat Tvam Asi. You are that Brahman. So Om means Brahman and Tat means you are that Brahman. And Sat is the third name that this Brahman is eternal, mentioned in the Shruti. That Brahman is eternal. So these are the representative names only, as there are many more. So impersonal representation of the Supreme Lord is done by this word Om. Then Om Tat Sat. So what Lord is saying, whatever you are doing, when it is accompanied by Om Tat Sat, then it becomes spiritual. So other verses are speaking the same thing only. तस्मादोम इति उदाहृत्य यज्ञदान तपः क्रिया प्रवर्तन्ते वेदान्तोक्तः सततं ब्रह्मवादिनाम्. Therefore the transcendentalist undertaking sacrifice, charity, penance in according to the scriptures begin always with Om. Om Tat Vishnu Paramam Padam. The lotus feet of the Vishnu are the supreme devotional platform. So even if there are discrepancies in relation to time, place, and other situation, if our charity is accompanied by the names of Lord Vishnu, then those discrepancies they go away. As we see, when later on Yajna was not complete, so that time Vamanadev, he tells to Sukracharya that now what about the Yajna? Sukracharya says, my dear Lord, don't worry. All the discrepancies in Yajna are gone by taking your name. Like that. So that is why we as devotees, we always do everything by chanting holy names of the Lord. That's why when we give prasadam also to the beggar, we try our best to ask him that please chant Hare Krishna. Ideally, even when we do food for life, it should be accompanied by Kirtan of the Lord. Like that. Without desiring fruitive result, one should perform various kind of sacrifice, penance, and charity with the word Tatra. The purpose of such transcendental activity is to get free from material entanglement. So the moment you add Lord into these religious activities, they are called religious activities, sacrifice, austerity, charity. But when you add Lord, then they become devotional activities. Then they become liberating activities. Absolute truth is the objective of devotional sacrifice, and it is indicated by the word Sat. The performer of such sacrifice is also called Sat, as are all works of sacrifice, penance, and charity, which true to the absolute person are performed to please the Supreme Lord, O son of Pratha. So it is said that one should vibrate Om Tat Sat. His Holiness Jayapada Swami Maharaj many times says, right? Om Tat Sat. Correct? These words Sat Bhave, Sadhu Bhave indicate the transcendental situation. So anything done as a sacrifice, charity, penance without faith in the Supreme is impermanent. It is called asat and useless both in this life and next. So two things are very important: having faith and based on the scriptures while doing any activity. One thing is you are doing it based on the scriptures, but you don't have faith. Then it does not give you the desired permanent result. But when you are doing as per the scriptures and you have faith also, then that becomes very good. So having faith as per the scriptures and for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. So this ends the chapter 15. Hare Krishna. So I have another class from 8 o'clock at ISKCON Gaya online from here. So all of you can ask questions. I'll end up by 7:56. Yes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Yes.
Prabhuji. Srinivas, I'm not speaking.
Okay. Yes,
Prabhuji,
Srinivas.
here, last line it is mentioned faith on Supreme. Does that
Right.
mean that by giving this charity I will be benefited spiritually, or it means something else?
As far as only religious activities are concerned, when you are giving charity as just a matter of religious activity, then also you should have faith that by doing this, I will be benefited because it is mentioned in the scriptures. And when we are doing it as a spiritual activity, then also we should have faith that this I am doing for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord.
So actually I wanted to ask whether if we have this feeling that this will be benefiting me, you will not be considered as selfish or selfless.
Yeah, so in this what happens, see, as per the scriptures, till the time our selfishness is for our body and mind, then that comes under swartha. But if your selfishness is for your soul, so that is not considered bad in the scriptures. Even Prahlad Maharaj also is saying, na, Swart Gati Bhi Vishnu. Understood?
Yes, yes,
so when selfishness is for the soul, that is not considered bad. That is good. And for we sadhakas, that is encouraged also.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, Hare Krishna. Umang Prabhu.